In with my cat foods from Zooplus, there was actually this little booklet on tips and advice. Like they're trying to, I think, because the world is sort of changing in what foods to give our cats and dogs and stuff. I don't know about dogs. I've never had a dog, so I can't really, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that choose to feed their cats and dogs things like benevo and that. I've tried the benevo, I'm not going to lie. I have tried it. We had it for over a year, and for the first 6 months it was fantastic, but I noticed there was a recipe change because the texture of the food and the coloration and stuff just looked different, and my lot just weren't eating it as wholeheartedly as what they were. Plus to the fact it's like eating the same meal every day. And you've got to find ways to flavour it and things like that to pimp it up. And I just was not finding things suitable. I found it really, really hard work. And yeah, my cats just weren't eating it. They were bored, and some of them were being sick when I noticed that the food looked different. If it worked and they were happy eating it, I would have kept them on it, but it just wasn't working for us. This booklet here has got like loads and loads of different food ideas and things for the cats. But this bit of this book, you can see here, what would your cat prefer to steal from your plate? A steak or a piece of cucumber? Well, actually, some of my cats would quite happily pinch some lettuce off my plate. It wouldn't steal from my plate a piece of steak because I don't eat steak. But if I had a bit of Beyond Burger, they quite happily pinch that, or my squeaky bean ham or something like that. They go crazy for some of my food, and I give them a tiny bit. I'm not going to lie, but I don't give them a whole lot. I just give them a tiny bit just to satisfy them if they come pestering me. And my squeaky bean ham, they go crazy for. In recent years, there have been attempts to feed cats with inappropriate food containing too little protein, artificial additives, and flavour enhancers, which can have consequences for their health. Besides factors like genetics and environment, a cat's diet has the most significant impact on their health. Despite being domesticated, cats are still primarily carnivorous. Cats need meat and a small portion of easily digestible plant-based ingredients. They try to sneak in that they do need some plant-based ingredients. Cats are carnivores. What does that mean? Although cats can safely digest plant ingredients, their complete nutritional needs cannot be met by a diet based solely on plants. They are unable to process essential nutrients from plant substances, which is why they require meat-based food to provide them with vitamins, fatty acids, and other nutrients. The biological characteristics of carnivorous animals. But how do we know that cats are indeed strictly carnivorous? The first clue is their teeth. Cat teeth are typical of carnivorous animals. Unlike the molars of mammals and herbivorous animals, cats' teeth are sharp and allow them to effectively catch and eat prey. Also, a cat's digestive system shows that it's designed for a meat-based diet. Cats have a very short digestive tract, the shortest of all mammals. Relative to their body size, as a result, they have a few fermenting bacteria that help break down plant material and extract nutrients from it. What about a large portion of pasta? Like my cats are going to sit and, oh yeah, we'll eat a big bowl of pasta. Cheers, Mum. If I'm eating pasta, they won't even go anywhere near it. They're more after the sauce, the tomato sauce that's in it. Gizmo goes crazy for tomatoes. If I've got cooked tomato on my plate, you'll go for that. But a plate of pasta, I think you're just taking the piss now. Things that sound tempting to us causes stomach discomfort in cats because they're unable to produce salivary amylase, an enzyme that helps other mammals digest carbohydrates. This is why it's important to minimise carbohydrates in our domestic cats' meals. What food is suitable for a carnivorous cat? For responses, for those reasons, a cat's diet should be rich in meat and low in carbs. Responsible cat owners value high quality food. They can provide their meat loving cats with top quality wet food such as wild freedom, recipes with high meat content that are based on the original wild diet of wild cats. Wild freedom wet food is composed of 98% meat, valuable offal and broth, and it doesn't contain artificial preservatives, colours, and attractants. Sophisticated recipes convince even the most demanding cats and emphasise the natural taste of the food. It doesn't contain grain, which causes food intolerance in some cats. Cosmo offers natural, gentle freeze-dried snacks for cats that would retain valuable nutrients and the full natural flavour. Perhaps your cat would care to try Cosmo Nature, a complete complementary food in the form of tender meat or fish chunks in broth. Cosmo products offer a wide selection of delicious food and treats. It's no wonder it's well liked among cats. So there we are. It's having a slight dig at those that are sort of putting their cats on plant-based food, and people that are researching what is best for their cats. I mean, at the end of the day, I gave it a really, really good shot. I'm not knocking anybody that puts their cats on Benevo or Army, dry and wet food. But for me, it didn't work with my cats. I had people that were telling me that basically, if you put your cats, ooh, that looks dark. If you put your cats on this stuff, you're going to kill your cats off. And somebody, if they heard that I had lost two of my cats, a third is going to be put to sleep soon. You know, they'd be like, oh, see, told you so. And I'd be like, do you know something? I gave it my best shot. It didn't cause my cats to die. It didn't cause issues with my cats, health issues, I mean. But it just didn't work for them. Some of them had issues with sensitive guts, and something was making my eldest cat Gizmo throw up, whatever the recipe change was. And their poops were a bit yucky. So I then thought, right, I need to change this. I'm looking at Percy in the bed. Let me just try it. I've got lunch. There he is. I know you can't really see him. Can I take it off charge a sec? Look at him. Oh, as he stretched out, the entire bed stretched with him. Yeah, my phone's on charge, so I've had to be very careful. Yeah, so that's why my cats came off the Benevo. I did it as a gradual change. I didn't just swap it over. When I bought some, I did a lot about this Scrumbles cat food, and there was a lady that said she's got 4 sphinxes. I couldn't think what they were bloody called then. And she said that her cats had the same issues, and she changed them over onto the Scrumbles, and it's been fantastic, and they've got perfect poos now and all the rest of it. And I was like, ooh, it's the only food that I've never tried my cats on. I looked at it because in Woolco's they used to sell it, but they only sold the small bags in our shop. And I used to think, it's going to cost me an absolute fortune. That's going to last like, what, 1 meal, maybe 2 between them all. It's going to cost me an absolute fortune. So I stuck with what I had. I really gave it my best shot. And also it was relying on DPD, the cost of postage. It cost me an absolute premium. Yeah, I mean, the big bag from where I used to buy it from, if I bought the big bag, cost £60. And then you're talking, your postage would be nearly, well, about £8, so 68 quid, new set, let's call it £70 for argument's sake. So it's a lot of money, to find. And yeah, it used to last a while. But yeah, it would be waiting on DPD, and then sometimes they deliver it to over the road, where we've got a delivery thing. And the headache of that, trying to find someone to help me to get it out, and you had to wait till next day for it to be re-delivered. Stuff like that. And it was just a headache. And I just thought, I need change to happen. It wasn't suiting the cats. I used to have, I'd be struggling. There'd be times where I'd be having to concoct something as a make do until the delivery came. I always was running out. And then Scrumbles was advertised on Facebook, and I just thought, I'm going to give this a shot. And I bought a small bag to start off with, just to see, because you can buy it in Sainsbury's. So I went in there and I bought a bag, and I thought, brilliant, because they seem to eat it really well. I also got some tins, but then the mistake that I made is that for one meal I gave them just the Scrumbles, and then of course, because you're supposed to gradually introduce it, so because they ate it, I then went back and I bought another bag of the small bag, and I slowly incorporated more of the benevo, less of the Scrumbles, and then gradually did the changeover. And they really enjoy it. I have to add a little bit of water to the bowl, of each bowl that they have, and they eat it. And they love the little tins as well. I put one between all of them, which sounds really bizarre, and people would be like, what? How can all them eat one tin? Well, I put it in a jug. I top it up to the level of the food with water. And then I just basically mix it up and decant it out into all their bowls. And believe it or not, it's just enough. And I put some biscuits down, so if they want those as well, they've got them. But if I did two, and I did do two once, it was too much. They never ate it. And then with the warmish weather, the bits of chunks were just not getting eaten. So there was loads of waste. So I do just the one, and it works for my cats. And that's what, then gradually we ran out of the benevo, or near enough. Then they were getting bored, and they'd been on it for like quite some time. So then, yeah, there was a little bit left in the bottom of the thing of the benevo. So I threw that out, and we just carried on then with the Scrumbles, and it's worked. And the poops are like normal, regular cat poops. And it's worked for them. It's really worked. And the only one it's obviously not had any help with is Elsa. Because of what's going on with her and the fact she's got cancer. I'm trying so hard not to cry here. I just want her to be at peace, but to sort of have a bit of time with her. Now I know what's wrong. Yeah. I mean, I may even go up to the vets on Monday, and we'll see. And make the appointment. Because I want to be in with that same vet that's seen her, to have her put to sleep. So anyway, so the Scrumbles works. It's brilliant. I found it great. And we're going to continue on it. So these little bits. I mean, there's a brand called Cosmo, maybe as a treat, because I did put in for them one of the catty broths that they've got, and they gave it them earlier on. I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to treat Elsa, get little bits in this week for her to just really, really enjoy. And if she has the squits a bit with it, then so be it. But I don't want her obviously to have very poorly poops, because I don't want her to have stomach ache and stuff. But I just feel like I just want to spoil her this week, and just give her all the bits that she really enjoys, and then I'll take her and let her go. So, but I might get some of this Cosmo stuff, just the odd thing, as a treat item, you know, once in a while. You know, as a vegan, it is pretty hard actually when you're giving stuff that's made from animals, but it's very difficult. It's like a complicated thing, isn't it? You know, but it is what they need. My cats. Someone else's cats may actually thrive on the benevo and do really well, but just for me personally and my little lot, it's not. Ooh, my chair took off. I leant on the joystick and we went. Yeah, forgot to switch the thing off. But yeah, I'm gonna just, you know, I can't be, you know, saying no judgy and stuff like that. I'm doing what's best for my cats and what they enjoy, and what their bellies will cope with. And I know that things that contain dairy, dairy waste and eggs and meat derivatives, which is all the crap basically that's put into a skip at the slaughterhouse and just sold off for pet food. I avoid all that sort of stuff. So I constantly read the back of the packaging, like as if I'm looking for my vegan food. I'm looking for their food and what suits their tummies. I just find myself watching Percy because he's very cute at the moment, sprawled out in his bed. Yeah. And yeah, one day I will be getting another cat, a youngster. I'll be getting a little girl. But at the minute, I just want to enjoy Elsa in her final weeks and spoil her and make her comfortable and then let her go. And that is my plan. That's what I want to do. I want to let her go before her kidneys decide to fail altogether. You know, it's a horrible, horrible thing for her to have to go through, and I love her to bits. And it's going to be so sad letting her go. But I just want to do things the right way for me and also for her importantly, more than my needs. I mean, if she needed to be put to sleep tomorrow, I'd do it. But I just want to give her time, if I can, just spoil her a little bit. Just like Todd at Arthur's Acres did with Katniss, his pig, when she was dying. And he booked an appointment for her to be put to sleep at home in the barns with him and Christina, his worker, that co-worker that does a lot of good in the place, as well as him, big-hearted people. And yeah, that's what she wanted to do. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to do that, and he had a week of giving Katniss treats. So she had smoothies, things that normally pigs he wouldn't give his pigs, but it was all vegan cream, vegan ice cream, vegan this, vegan that, as well as fruit and veg, and all the rest that pigs normally eat. But it was just like a little taster, just a little something of bits that she used to enjoy of Todd's. And then in his case with Katniss, she decided to, the night before she went, because there was the pig Carl, her partner, if you like, he said goodbye to her in pig language. I mean, the grunts and things was just beautiful. And it was like they were saying goodbye to each other. And then the next night, the night before she was due to be put to sleep, she passed in the barn with the animals with her. So she went on her own. And I just feel like I want to do that with Elsa. You know, let her have some time, enjoy things, the treats that she's allowed to have. And then next week, I'll let her go. So I just want her happy. I don't want her in acute pain or anything. And I want to let her go before the kidneys fail altogether, because I've just seen kidney failure happen in cats. And my cat Bob that I had, I mean, I've said this before, he was tested for kidney failure with bloods, and then I was asked to go and get a sample kit and from the vets. I got the sample done of wee, put it into the tube, rushed it up to the vets. They then got it analysed, and then on the Friday, I had a phone call, and she was like, Bob's urine shows that his kidneys are failing, but they're not at that worse stage yet. We'll see him again after Christmas, so we'll see him in January. If you can make an appointment towards Christmas for January, we'll reevaluate his levels and see how he is. And that was on the Friday in the November. On this early hours of Saturday morning, he started changing. He was really declining. Sunday, he stopped eating altogether. His body, literally, he was hiding down the side of the TV unit. He came out to me, and his face, I couldn't recognise him. He was like, literally like a rugby ball with slits for eyes. His legs were so swollen up. I'd already rung a few out of hours emergency vet people and what they wanted to charge, and I didn't have my money until the following week. And because I had no money, it was like, sorry, we won't see you. And they wanted to charge £300 just to come out and come through the door. And then there's the put to sleep fee, which is what, about 160 to 200, depending on the persons that are doing it. So they wouldn't do it. So then I had to sit up through the night, Sunday into Monday. When the vets opened up, they had no appointments. Wouldn't bring him down, let me bring him down to their vets. So I had to drive to another one of their company over at Stone. And he was sitting there. Then the vet was like, even though he was so swollen up, he was like, oh, we can do tests on him and send him home if you like. And you can take him home. And I was like, are you for real? Look at him. His jaw, his body was that swollen up. His gums, he was that dehydrated, his gums were falling out of his mouth. They were overtaking his teeth. He couldn't bite because he was too swollen up in the gums. But he used his claws, because he did it with me the one time where I tried to move my hand out from underneath his chin because he was resting on me, but I needed to make a phone call to the vets. And he sunk all his claws into my arm. But he did that with the vet when he was trying to get the vein. He was squeezing his legs so they could put the cannula, wanted to shave his leg to put the cannula in. And I said, look at his legs, you're not going to get a vein. And so, yeah. So they had to do it the way through the stomach, which is really, really cruel and horrible. But it was the only way to get him to be relaxed. But I didn't like the way that they did it. But it needed to be done, unfortunately. So, and he went to sleep on my lap. He was literally trying to get down off the table. And the vet says, oh, he wants to go on your lap. And he says, but he hasn't weed for 24 hours. He might wee all over you as he passes. And I said, do you know what? I said, if he wees, it doesn't matter. The trousers can go in the washing machine. He's dying. This is his final moments of breath. So I was like, I don't care. So anyway, he was put on a little bed and put on my lap, and he passed with the part 2 given to him, and he was at peace. So I don't want Elsa to get to that stage, where it's very painful. And I've seen kidney disease happen in a few of my cats, older cats. But I just feel that the scrumbles stuff is what's working for my cats, and that's what I'm going to continue on them on. And the odd time I'm going to get them the odd treat item that they, obviously bearing in mind that there's no dairy, there's no egg in it, and no meat derivatives, and I'm just gonna let them enjoy it. There's some things that works and some things that don't, and I know what works for my cats and their makeup in there, Anyway, right, I've rambled long enough. I'm really sorry. I know how to ramble sometimes. I can't help myself. But yeah, I just thought this piece of this booklet just made me sort of smile a little bit, because it's like they're trying to steer people away from from looking into plant-based, straight vegan for their cats. The benevo market is definitely taking off. More and more people are researching and putting their cats on that sort of food, and it's just not worked for mine. And if someone turned around and said, "Oh, if you hadn't have fed your cats vegan food, this wouldn't have happened." One died from heart disease. Heart disease of some degree, fluid on the heart. It was all to do with his heart that he'd had for some time. Another cat, Minnie, who passed with stress issues, UTIs, all that kind of stuff, was getting thinner and thinner, and possibly had diabetes, probably did. And then I've got one with cancer, so, go figure, it's nothing to do with the food that I fed them, nothing whatsoever. So if anyone's putting their cat on vegan food, the benevo and whatever, just do whatever you feel and look into it. And if it works for your cat, brilliant. Just be prepared to have to look into it and make changes where you need to, because it's complicated stuff, but not complicated if you know what you're doing. But with me and my health issues, for me, it was a lot. And I just wanted to do the right thing for my cats and their health, and stop them from having loose poos and stuff with what they were on previously. And that's why I did it, and it worked. But then I think formula has definitely changed, which then didn't agree with some of my cats, was making them sick. And now they're on this other stuff, and they're fine, they're totally fine. So anyway, I'm going to go. I'm rambling again. Sorry. But yeah, catch you later. Bye.